Just share some reflections. I wonder, it's hard to imagine a manager who knew Jack better. What thoughts are you having about him today?
Well, I worked for him for 20 years. He was demanding, exciting, a brilliant strategist, and a man of the highest level of energy. He clearly was one of the best CEOs of his time. I'd also mention that the last few years have been very rough for him, but he didn't complain, and he tried to work through every medical setback, small or large. Very difficult.
Bob, what do you think's more profound to think about today? His influence on GE itself, or his influence on what we know is a generation of managers who've gone on to run giant companies themselves?
I think it's both. He wanted to make a lot of changes in GE right away, but he didn't feel he could do it in the natural way, sort of a slow progress. So he set out to put in big goals and to try to get people to do things right away as opposed to wait 2 or 3 years. And that was a lot of pressure on the organization. But those of us that lived through it, we're better for it, much better for it. And
Bob, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, the people that could do this benefited greatly, and the organization got changed radically. So that was not easy to do in those days.
Bob, it's John Fort. I'm wondering, how do we today translate Jack Welch's legacy into some of the digital challenges, the shifting economy? How do you take what Jack Welch did, his approach to leadership and management, and continue to make it relevant today? Are there any adjustments that you need to make, either in the way that you treat people, you cut in organizations, you maintain efficiency?
Well, I would say that the things that he wanted us to do, always looking at, he was very interested in technologies. He wanted us to adapt to current technologies. Don't just live with the past. And I think that's people. We're all trying to do this. The digital world has changed everybody, but you can't hang around the back history. You got to be out in front of it, and that's what he tried to do on everything. In a big company, very big company to do that with.
Bob, I know you've written a lot about this in your own memoir, but I'm trying to think of a time early in your career where you realized you were working for someone who was not your run-of-the-mill manager. And then, of course, his influence in some of the very big early decisions you yourself made when it came to the future of media.
Well, I met Jack Welch when he was in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and had just become a kind of a major figure in GE back in the 70s. So I had a chance to observe him right up front, like sitting at the same table with me. And I had left. I had gone to Cox, and I had done some other things, all of which he knew, and so he kind of followed me. But I followed him in terms of his history and what he was doing. But he was always trying to make sure that technology didn't get behind him. He wanted to be up with it, even as hard as that is. So I could say that same thing today. It's like what Amazon has done. Now everybody's following, but everybody's late, and he hated being late to technology.
Bob, as you're talking, there's a picture here, live shot of the exchange, where his picture and his name are on the media cubes above the posts, which is just another testament to his influence and the respect people had for him. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. We will all remember Jack in his very best days because he was such a dynamo.